So, one of the biggest things that gets told to any trans person when they come out is this idea of if you start to socially or physically transition, you're going to regret it. So, today I wanted to take a look at that idea of if trans people really do regret their transition. I wanted to take a look because I know that obviously every single person has a different relationship with their transness and how they went about their transition and all of that. So let's see if trans people actually do regret their transition. First of all, I love him. This video, oh my god. I think one of the craziest things is that trans people will literally have the deadest eyes in the world. Will look like we want to be for years. And people will say, oh, you're gonna regret it. And then when you actually transition and you actually feel comfortable in yourself and you actually have light in your eyes, they suddenly have a problem. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think one of the most beautiful things in the world is, and this is pretty universal that I have seen like before and after transition, of just how much more life someone has in their face, how much lighter they just look, so much better and more confident in themselves and just an actual person compared to like the before photo. So when people say like, oh, you're gonna regret your transition and this is the worst thing you've ever done, it's like, no, we're literally becoming the person we've always known inside. It's not a problem. Y'all are making it the problem. Videos like this, I absolutely love, because transness should be about joy, should be about feeling comfortable in yourself. And yeah, I don't know. As a community, I know that we all struggle with so many things, so finding this kind of joy is absolutely beautiful.
I'm a transgender man, and here are 3 reasons why I regret transitioning from female to male. Number 1, being a man. I could have been anything in the world, and my brain decided to be a man? What the fuck? Number 2, having to work really hard to be a safe space when I'm around women, because even though I'm a transgender man, I know that women don't feel safe around any men. Number 3, I have to use the men's restroom. I'm talking pissy floors, skid marks on the toilet seat, unwashed hands. If you know, you know.
I wanted to include this because I feel him. I feel like so many trans men have this feeling. I know for me, whenever I question my gender, because I am non-binary, but obviously, like, there are times where I'm like, am I a trans guy? And that kind of, I'm like, I can't be a white man.
A white man?
So I definitely feel him on this. I appreciate the fact that he is so considerate of how his transition physically makes other people around him feel, because unfortunately it is a fact that, you know, women don't feel comfortable around men because of long systemic oppression and violence, sexual violence, killings, all of the horrendous things that men have historically done to women. So the fact that he is so conscientious of trying to make sure that he is a safe space as a trans man is absolutely beautiful. He's not wrong about those bathrooms, y'all. I used to have to clean men's rooms and oh good god. It's bad. Look, it's bad. I don't understand why men don't wash their hands, don't clean up after themselves. You're not a toddler. Or if you do happen to, you know, bring your kid into the bathroom with you, clean up after yourself. Also, the other thing that, like, when we're talking about transition regrets, that, like, this is so valid. Like, and the thing I like about this is it's not like the typical regret that conservatives try to use against trans people. It's literally just, oh, I'm seeing the difference of how I have to operate in the world now that the world is perceiving me in this way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love him. He's so real for that. A man? A man!
When I started testosterone, I was not 100% sure. I wasn't. And when people would ask me if I was 100% sure, I told them yes, obviously, because I didn't want people questioning me, and I didn't want people to think I'm going to make a mistake. But I was like 98% sure. Let me preface this by saying I am not telling you to just make a reckless decision and dive into it without doing, taking your time and doing research. But I am saying that part of you might still be really fucking uncomfortable and scared going into starting your transition. Whatever part you may be at, it's gonna be uncomfortable. There's so many layers of unknown to it, right? I wasn't 100% sure when I started testosterone. I wasn't. But I had contemplated it for a really long time, and I had done a lot of research. I looked into so many different people's personal experiences. I talked to a therapist. I talked to a professional. I figured that at the end of the day, if I didn't try, I would never know. And I took my first shot, and I loved it, and I never went back, and I never questioned it after that. But starting, yeah, I was scared. I was excited. Obviously, that's why I did it. I knew that if I didn't like it, I could stop at any time. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out whether or not you're okay with never figuring it out or never trying, or if it's worth the risk. And for me, it was.
I absolutely adore this because I think there are so many trans people out there who are scared or have a percentage of themselves that are scared about starting HRT. And I actually don't know this person's pronouns, so I'm going to use they. If I'm misgendering you, I sincerely apologize. First of all, like they said, you can always stop at any point, and you do kind of have to weigh out the risk of, is it more comfortable for me to know or not know? And I also think it's so important to just talk about the fact that yes, it is sometimes, when contemplating a physical transition, you can be scared. It's scary. Or you can have your doubts about it, but you never know if you don't try it. I personally definitely go back and forth when it comes to going on testosterone for me, but I'm hoping at some point, probably after this administration is gone and the world is hopefully a better place, I at least want to try it for a few months at some point in my life, just because the same exact reason. You know what I mean? For me personally, top surgery is more of the priority. That's the thing I've known I've always wanted, so that's what I know I need for my physical transition. Hormones is more of a maybe someday, I don't know, I don't know if I'll like it, that kind of thing. And the thing is, you're not ever wrong about how you feel about going on hormones because, yes, it is a change, and that is uncomfortable, and it can be scary, and especially a lot of folks who are, on the neurodivergent spectrum of things, who are used to a very certain way of living, and then completely, having all of these changes happen, and sometimes really quickly, it can be very daunting. So if you are someone out there who is thinking about HRT or some sort of physical transition, social transition, and you're not 100% about it, that's okay. You can take your time. You have all of the time in the world to figure out how you want to show up in the world, how you want to transition, and please do not let anyone tell you that you're not valid because of whatever apprehension or potential way that you want to go about your own journey in life. It's yours. Your transition is for you, so it should make you happy. Don't let other people try to force you to do things that you don't want to do. Or don't let them talk you out of something that you do want to do. And like he said, you can always stop hormones. You can always stop them at any point. Yeah, I think this kind of video is so important because we normalize that whole 100%, but a lot of us have imposter syndrome, and that's okay.
Do I regret transitioning? Short answer, no, absolutely not. But here are 5 things that I kind of overlooked when I started my transition that hit you. At least they're hitting me now after 8 months of transitioning. So, number 1 is how expensive this will all be. This will take a huge chunk of your lifetime savings and salary, however you make it, because one way or another, it will cost you. And I did not know. If I had known how much even just 8 months worth of everything has cost me, I might have thought it over but I would not have chosen differently. Number two is that you will start to use compression socks because your blood flow is getting not as good as you are used to. As someone assigned male at birth, I was used to having really just normal stamina with my legs and muscles, being able to like literally as a drag queen be on stage for like 8 hours straight in heels and have nothing happen. And now about like an hour or two of like walking makes me tired and my feet hurt, and I have to wear compression socks, and you get like veins and like what's it called, like varices or whatever. I'm just like I didn't expect it. Number three is that you will have to pee all the time. Literally, I will have to pee every hour or so. And it's not even just because if you take spirulactone, which I'm not even on anymore, I still feel like I am peeing way more often than I used to. My bladder feels smaller. I have no idea why. Don't explain the science. Don't tell me anything, but it is way different. You will be peeing all the time. And number five is that you will literally have to do something every single day and night for the rest of your life. If you choose to be on hormones, you don't have to do it, but if you choose to be on hormones, it is either you will have to get injections once a week, every 2 weeks, every few days. If you do gels, you will have to get used to putting gel morning and evening. If you do pills, it's every morning, evening. If you do a suppository, blah, blah, blah. Like, it is a routine, a ritual that you cannot miss, that you have to keep doing if you want to see results. And it basically means you never forget. You never get to just like wake up and just like go about your day. Like, it's always like, okay, here we go. Put the hormones on, put the blah, 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 like, do. It is what it is. But in no way would I choose otherwise. That is how secure and sure I am of my transition. Like, I'm being hit with so many things that are just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, how am I gonna handle this for the rest of my life? And yet still, I'm thinking this is the happiest I've ever been. So you know that when you are faced with adversity after a decision, but you still think it's the right decision, you know it was the right decision.
First of all, I don't think I've ever seen a video like this, or maybe because I'm on like the trans mask side of things, I don't really see videos like this explaining more of the trans femme side of changes and all of that. But I absolutely love her message at the end of, even if you're facing adversity at the end of a decision or like going through a decision, but you're still the happiest that you've been at the end of that decision, it's still a good decision. I feel that. I feel that as someone who has quit their job to do this and is trying to make money and all that jazz. And I'm like, I'm still happier. I know it's a completely different situation, but I totally understand the sentiment behind making a decision, and even if you go through challenges with it, still it being the best decision for you. I absolutely, first of all, I didn't even think about the peeing thing. That's wild. Any other trans femme or trans women in the comments, please tell me if like y'all experience that, because that'd be crazy. She's not wrong about, you know, the ritual side of things and waking up every day and like being reminded that you have to have this routine in order to be seen as your true self, which I'm not gonna lie, like that does suck, you know, that you can't just go about your day and be who you are, that you have to actively put in work. But I guess cis people actively put in work to like express their gender too. They just don't. Actually, no, some cis people do have to take hormones. Anyway, the thing that I want to talk about, and the fact that I don't know if a lot of trans people have talked about this, is just how expensive transitioning is. I think we all know that transitioning is expensive, but just how expensive and how much continual money you'll be putting into transitioning and all of that. And I don't know if it's specifically just in the United States, because our healthcare is privatized and the oligarchs and elites hate us and want us to pay for everything. But it's genuinely the reason why I personally haven't gotten top surgery. I've never had that kind of money to actively get that. And as soon as I do, oh good God, these bitches are coming off. They're coming off. But I don't think I've ever thought about how expensive hormones are because I personally have gone back and forth on whether or not I'm wanting to go on them. But especially like physical surgeries are so expensive, which I could argue shouldn't be because it's like medically necessary for trans people's mental health. I think they should be a whole lot cheaper than they are, but that's just me. I love all of the points that she touched on because it's true. Even after making a good decision, sometimes there are, you know, things that come along with it that you don't either know will happen, or you're just like, I made the right decision, but oh, this part of it kind of sucks. And that doesn't mean that you didn't make the right decision for you. If at some point it becomes too much, then maybe you can rethink it. But if you're genuinely happy in your transition and how everything is going, it's okay to look at some things and be like, damn, this part of it kind of sucks. But overall, I am genuinely happy with how everything is going. And I love that. Mostly because I feel like we all need to learn how to hold space for duality a whole lot more. There's a whole lot more nuance in this world than people want to give credit for. People want to give these very black and white things of like, you have to be super happy or you're super sad. But like, you can be really happy with the decision and also acknowledge that there are some things that come along with it that you might not like. And that's okay. There is nuance in this world. This world is not black and white. It's all the colors of the fucking rainbow. I need people to understand nuance so much more.
And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel.
Every time, don't know what's coming.
It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know?
I love trans men. I love Emmett. Okay, as someone who is also ex-Mormon, when I saw his initial interviews, like years ago at this point, I think in like 2011, 2012, I remember, first of all, being angry and not knowing why, because at that point I didn't know I was trans. I was jealous. Let's just say that. I was very jealous. But I followed him for a while on Instagram, and first of all, go follow him. He's so sweet. He's an actor, and like, he gives me hope that as a fellow trans person, I can also get into acting. Like I was saying in the first video that I reacted to, I think one of the funniest things is that people say, you'll regret it, you'll regret it, you'll regret it. And then you're the happiest, most attractive, most beautiful, most glorious version of yourself. Because when you're actually comfortable with yourself, you just exude all of the thing, like all of the good thing. Like, oh my God. I also completely understand this because I also, even though I figured out somewhat who I was fairly early in life, part of me wishes that my mom or some adult had listened to me when I was a kid, because I personally am one of those people that I've been saying those kind of like gender not aligning things since I was a little kid. And I just wish that language, that ability to have at least socially transitioned was available to me sooner so that I would feel comfortable. So I completely get the sentiment that the only regret that a trans person, or I know I personally have, is that I wish I could have at least been myself and felt myself sooner and had the language to be able to actually express who I am on the inside and have other people be able to see that as well. Because, oh my god, my teenage years were not it. Y'all, that was bad. Go follow him because he genuinely is so sweet. Oh my god, he and his partner, beautiful couple. Oof. Oof. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to let me know down in the comments what your thoughts and feelings are concerning the whole trans people will regret their decision. And if you have transitioned, what are your favorite parts and what are your not so favorite parts? Like I said, holding nuance, holding space, holding the ability to be able to say, I'm so incredibly happy with what I decided to do with my life. But also, you know, there might be some not so great parts that go along with it. There is a duality. And if you just absolutely love your transition and you have no regrets about it or things that you don't like about it, fucking amazing. That's great. Like, good for you. And if you want to help support this trans person, be sure to like, comment, share, do all the things for the algorithm, and check out my YouTube membership and Patreon if you are able to. I also have merch linked down below as well. Help this queer, trans, content creator, artist person out. And I will see you in the next video.